Baltic regions in the summer of 2019, yet another obviously intelligently designed metal object has been found inside a stone. Now, geologists assure us that these types of stones were cooked very deep inside the earth many millions of years ago, once upon a time. Or the youngster stones would be at least a couple of 100,000 years old, still once upon a time. And yet we regularly find these types of objects. This is not an exception at all. Most people take it for granted that this type of findings are direct proof of alien visitations or wiped out ancient technological civilizations on Earth. That is not the only explanation though, and also different scenarios could apply to different objects. Because there are quite few of them, here somebody else found something besides the river. So I have published a lot on this subject in previous videos already. We've seen coins minted in modern times, also inside stones. Actually, many of these objects are most likely absolutely modern. They're simply overgrown with stone. 2 years ago I made this video about living and growing stones, and subsequently during a couple of expeditions, although that wasn't what I was actually looking for, still I found evidence that I was absolutely right about growing certain types of stones. Hopefully I will manage to put that material together sometime during this winter, and meanwhile these are more modern objects. Maybe they are just rusty, but who knows? Maybe on some of them also stone is beginning to form. Because, by the way, the person who published his finding about this stone mentions in his video that since he found the stone, it started covering itself with some sort of crust, which is the natural way things work, because when stones grow, it appears initially as crust, and the variety he got could be relatively fast growing. That's why it could swallow up modern metal objects relatively fast. Here you can compare the object, which is obviously set in stone, with modern objects. And just a short interruption, because I received numerous messages from people who fear that the good YouTube channels will be closed down or blocked soon. That wouldn't be surprising on the side of a nonsense platform like YouTube. And in case it happens, if you wanna stay in touch with me, you can subscribe to this newsletter. I'm not sending newsletter issues very often. Sometimes it doesn't happen for a couple of years even, but it functions, and in case my channel disappears, this is the way to stay for sure in touch with me. There is a type of people called young earth creationists who have done an absolutely brilliant scientific underlined job in exposing the ridiculousness of mainstream geology, and particularly in the area of dating geological stuff. So the young earth creationists have collected and published for free really lots of proof that mainstream geological dating is a total hoax, a joke. Sadly, very few people appreciated their hard work and well-presented publications, because the rest of their claims goes into Bible and the entire earth is only 5,000 years old, things like that, which are definitely not that well backed by proof, and that's why people dismiss the full package. And that is sad because the story as told by the young earth creationists, although certainly leaves a lot to be desired in terms of logic and other details, still it is in overall far more truthful than the fairy tales of the geologists. Because it seems the world that we see now was indeed fashioned relatively recently on the ruins of the older earths. There is also plenty of proof that this creation is made by intelligent design and did not happen by chance. And for those who wish to go a little bit beyond explanations like the magical wish of God, in terms of how exactly did that being engineer and construct our world, soon I will be publishing also on the topic of something like too big to be made by any machine. Was it the hand of God? Something like this will be the title of one of the future videos. So that's number one. Number two would be how stones grow. Here we see how they grow and swallow other stones, which doesn't make sense if we believe the geologists, because they have completely different cooking recipes for all these stones, cooking them inside the earth. Although now and then even mainstream geologists realize that many things unfold much faster than they would have expected, but still they don't make any general conclusions. For now, they just register them as separate cases without changing their general overview of the situation. And then factor number three will be something that I will introduce in the next episode of the Sardinia expedition, something like the layers of history, a new idea which I want to introduce. And these three factors taken together, I estimate them to be able to explain at least 1/10 of 1% of how God created the earth actually.